And I'm going to go ahead and get started. So first off, my name is Anissa Mitchell and I'm with PMD Alliance, and I'm very glad that you're joining us today. This is for a special Real Talk for Care Partners, and it's a first of a two-part series, and we have a very special guest with us today. But before I do an introduction, I want to give you guys just a bit of housekeeping, which you probably all have heard before, but just in case we have some new folks joining us today, I will go through it. So first of all, we're going to keep everybody muted right now because we want to minimize any background noise and we don't want to take away from our talk today. We do want you, though, to interact. So we want you to ask questions. Feel free to share your experiences. I will say, if you would open up your chat box, that's the place that we'd like you to get started. First of all, give us a shout out where everyone's joining us from. And then as you guys ask your questions today, if it's truly a question for our speaker, then she would like for you to write question. If it's just a statement, you don't need to do that. But we want to make sure that we capture everyone's specific questions, because I have a feeling we're going to have quite a few of them after we get through this today. So also, I'm going to point out that fairly new to Zoom, which you probably have already seen before, is now they have the closed captioning. So you'll see that at the bottom. If you like that, feel free to keep it. You can move it around the different parts of your screen, or you can disable it. You can hide it. So you can hide those subtitles and then it won't show up on your screen. And then one little last thing, you guys probably are all experts in this, but I'm still going to point it out, is that you can change your view. Gallery view, where you can see all the boxes while we're not sharing the screen, or speaker view. So you can feel free, that's at the very top right-hand corner of your screen. So I love seeing we got people coming from Rhode Island, Pennsylvania, Maryland. So great to have you all. So I'm going to now do a little introduction of many of you probably have heard the name Teepa Snow before, because she's a renowned occupational therapist and a world leader in dementia education. I heard Teepa many, many years ago, so I can't tell you how excited I am to actually get to meet her, at least virtually, face to face, and get to hear from her directly. She founded Positive Approach to Care, which is a company that provides dementia training, products, and services. She has a very person-centered approach and has helped care partners with effective and structured techniques to improve their care of their loved ones who have changing abilities. So Teepa is going to be sharing some things with us today, and I'm also going to share with her, with you, her website. I'll put that in the chat after she gets started, because on there she has videos. You can order DVDs, there's books, there's all kinds of different resources on her page, and so it's something that everybody should be aware of. And you know, you can go to that afterwards, and also that is where the presentation slides from today will be available. So instead of being on our site, it is going to actually be on her site, but we are recording, so you can go back and review it. You can share it with others if they were not able to join you today, so feel free to do that. So Teepa is going to be talking to us today about helping your loved one with movement. So Teepa, I am so excited that you're here, and I know that the care partners and everyone joining us today are going to learn a lot from you. So I am going to quit talking, and I'm going to pass this off to you and just say welcome.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for coming. And we're going to be working together today on this idea of mobility and movement when somebody's living with Parkinson's or Parkinson's plus dementia or Lewy body disease or a whole bunch of possibilities. So we're going to start off by the way I mean to go, which is we want to think about what are we doing that either role models and promotes what we want to see, or what are we missing? And so I'm going to see how many of you can follow my lead. And if I go, oh, hey, you can do the same thing. So if I go, oh, hey, can you do that? Let me see. Let me see if I got some. So I'm asking you to suck air in. Hey, and sound excited. So now you'll have to blow the air out so you can do it again. So blow out and now go, hey. Now you got to work on that up voice. I can't hear you, but I know you're doing it. So blow it out. Hey, which is real different than sit up. Come on, Mom. Could you lean forward? Mom, wait, whoa, what are you doing? No. Mom, look at me. Hey, John, what did I tell you? Now, I'm being sort of confrontational, because sometimes as a care partner, what happens is we get flustered. We get frustrated, we can't figure out what to do, and we start acting like somebody's mother or somebody who doesn't like somebody very much. And unfortunately, people who are living with Parkinson's, people who are living with Lewy body, people who are living with any form of dementia are much better at picking up on a tone of voice than they are content of speech sometimes. And so what they notice is it sounds like we're angry. It sounds like we're mad. It sounds like we're frustrated. It sounds like we don't like. And all we're feeling is, I don't know what to do. You haven't moved in the last 2 hours. I can't figure out how to help you get up to go to the bathroom. I know that you're wet. I'm trying to help. And unfortunately, that sense of frustration, you show it. And what happens when a human brain is confronted by someone or something that is threatening, its automatic reflex is to call on the primitive brain, and the primitive brain goes, yikes, I need to get away from this, which could result in flight can be shutting down and going into a, I'm not going to participate mode. And it can look like sleeping. It can actually be sleeping, because when I'm asleep, I don't have to interact with you. It can also just be a shutdown. It can be a visual flight. It can also be my eyes are open, my face is frozen. And is that because I don't want to interact or I can't initiate? Could it be a reaction, a response, or an interaction? It could also be that you get shut up and leave me alone, which is like, whoa, why are you so angry? I'm trying to help you. Just stand up. I can't. So you may get a response that sounds more fearful, or you may get a response or a reaction that sounds more angry. You might find people hiding, or you might find people seeking, but it isn't necessarily what you meant to have happen. So we're going to pause, and we're going to sort of take a few seconds here to think, okay, so what did I do differently at the beginning? And it had to be a choice I made. I had to choose to do it. Hey. Now, why is that a vital thing? Because it turns out when you suck air in, you bring in oxygen. And when you bring in oxygen, your brain works better. And when you suck in air with that voice, it sounds like you're excited. It sounds like you're energized. It draws attention. So if I go, oh, Carl, hey, what you're going to possibly see is the person who has that first name. And our first name is one of the first gifts we're given as a human being. It is called a self-identifier. And it turns out it will be one of the very last things that will disappear for people, even if they have very advanced dementia. What will happen is their name, their first name, their given name, their preferred name is the thing that sticks with them. So when you hear your name, it gets your primitive brain to go, yeah. And it gets you to alert, and it's called the reticular activating system. It's a really cool part of the brain because it filters all the background data and says, oh, here's the thing you should look for. Here's the thing you should listen for. Here's the thing you want to pay attention to, because it has value. So if I were to go, oh, Juliana, hey, Now, what did I have to be willing to do? Those of you who had the view where you only saw speaker me, you might not have seen Juliana. What did I have to be willing to do? Those of you who could see her. You can put it in the chat. What did I make myself do?
Pause.
I did a major pause. What else did I do? I gave her what first, and then I added something a little less big.
So people are saying you initiated, you made a funny expression and paused and waved and then gave it a thumbs up.
I gave her several options, but I did it in a positive sequenced way to see what she seemed to respond to. And I'm also keeping track of how many seconds it's taking her to take the data in. I saw her eyes light up with her name, but then I also sat here for a few seconds and she didn't give me anything. She didn't give me anything. And then I went, and I gave her a question with my face, and she then gave me thumbs up. Now that is cause for celebration. Now people get sort of like forgetful about that. She did it. She chose to participate when I was able to initiate. So as a care partner, this is the tricky part. It's hard to wait for the pause because sometimes the pause isn't a pause. It doesn't seem like our message got through. And the tricky part for us is giving it long enough that a brain that's struggling to find its way into movement from input, because when you put the sensation in, it can take a while for the movement to come out. And that's due to lots of issues. But if I sort of get my timing down, then I start to feel the rhythm of the back and forth. And this is that tricky part. So I've got to be doing that. Now y'all are starting to look for me to say a name. And that's the same kind of thing we want to build into. We want to get into a rhythm pattern that when I do a certain thing, my partner starts thinking, okay, I think I know what's coming next. So there aren't so many surprises, but still there is an opportunity for interaction. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. And I'm going to start us off by looking at a couple PowerPoint slides. And I think for care partners, for trying to enhance mobility or movement, these are my 5 pieces. These are the 5 pieces. The first step, anticipate. I need to anticipate or prepare for what the possibilities are. I want to be prepared. I want to have in my head what's going on. What am I noticing about my person? How long have they been there? What do I know about the medication background here? What do I know about getting up out of that seat historically? What do I know about getting started from the past? That's anticipation. But then comes initiation. How do I get going? How do I start so that I might be able to get my partner to be interested in working with me, doing with me? Then we get to participate. We want to both participate. This isn't just my partner doing something and I'm going to watch. It's I do something, they do something, and then perhaps we do something that has a rhythm back and forth. Now, when that's going on, I need to internally pause and appreciate. So I want to, even as this is going on, I want to do a pause inside myself and really appreciate. So how's this going? Is this going the way I want it to? Is this going well? Can I say, yeah, nice, good work, excellent. Wow, you're doing amazing. Or will that stop the action? So I want to be thoughtful in my appreciation, but at the same time, appreciation is important. And then I've got to think, okay, so how are we going to complete this? How are we going to wrap this one up? How do I transition from where I am right now to where I might like to be? How do I go from movement to stillness, or from this activity to another activity? And how do I help my partner do that? So what's interesting when we're supporting somebody's mobility is that it is a process for us and for someone else. So I'm going to see what you folks are able to do here. I'm going to have everybody take your right hand and put it up by your body, up here, open hand up near your face. And I'm going to take your left hand and turn it away from your face and body out here in front of you. And I'm going to have you imagine that left hand is somebody else's hand, because I don't know how many of you have a care partner right by you and how many of you don't. So here's what I want you to do. Take your little finger of your left hand and pick it up and hold your other fingers close together, including your thumb. So now this left hand has actually become somebody else's right hand. So what you're going to do is take your right hand and say, hi. And then you're going to take it out and you're going to shake hands with your other hand. Look at you guys, very impressive. Very nice. All right, now don't stop, hang on, keep going here. And now open your right hand up. Open your right hand, but don't let go. Open it up, but don't let go. Twist it upward and lay it outward like you're forming a plate. And now what you have is the person's hand lying on your hand. Your hand is under their hand in support. So I am going to give you this. Now, your thumbs are locked. Now, in real time, you guys have a little finger locked with your thumb. I know that. It's tricky. But it's hard when we're all separated. What I want to show you, however, is this hand position allows you to offer support without impairing fingers. It allows you to support someone's movement by offering palm-to-palm contact.
Look at the fire or something up there.
Which is going to be something that actually turns out to be important when we start looking at movement patterns. I will also share with you, take your thumb, your index finger, and your middle finger, and bring them together. Now take your other hand and do the same thing. Close down your little finger and your ring finger. Take these 3 fingers and bring them to your shirt. And imagine that you're going to button buttons, zip a zipper, pick up a pen and write. You're going to take a nut and put it on a bolt or take it off. You're going to knit or crochet. You're going to use a utensil. Everything done with skill on the human hand is done with these 3 fingers. These 2 fingers, your little finger and your ring finger, are what make your hand strong and powerful. It gives you a power grip so you can hold on to something really, really tight. These 3 fingers, controlled by the median nerve. These 2 fingers, controlled by the ulnar nerve. In all forms of dementia and in Parkinson's, you will lose skill before you lose strength. And what will happen is you'll lose the fine, detailed movement that allow you to be skillful, and yet you will keep the gross strength that allows you to grip, but at times it will be hard to let go. And it is very challenging to do things with skill sometimes. And it gets really frustrating not being able to get it to work right. when you've always been a skillful, independent person. So if I'm having trouble and you come in and say, here, let me do that for you, you might get this in response. Now that's not very nice because all you were trying to do was help. But what it might do is trigger in that person, if you're right in front of them and your hands are touching them, something that you didn't intend, which is a sense that you're taking over and that strength that people have. Sometimes you can get an outcome you weren't looking for, which could be grabbing your forearms. It could be pushing you away. It could be leave it alone, just leave it alone. And it's a reaction, not a thoughtful response, because it came for them out of nowhere. They weren't anticipating it, even though you said, here, let me just help you with the button. Because what you saw, felt, and seemed like this is too hard. Whereas if you're on the side and you can do hand under hand, it has a very different feel to it. This is what? What will this remind you of? Let me get your buttons. Let me do this. What does that sound and look like? Here, I'm just going to do your buttons for you. Okay, let me do your pants. Okay, I'm just going to help you. Let me give you a bite. What does that sound like?
Deborah said, Mom.
Yeah, it sounds like a caregiver, not a care partner. Here you go. Here's a bite. Here you go. Try this. See what you think. Ooh, something to eat? Here you go. So that difference of initiation to participation versus I do too makes a big difference for folks. So I'm going to show you a little video clip. And this video clip has a little too much of something. And I'm curious what you notice. I want you to watch the person who's being approached and the person who's approaching. And I want you to give me your take on what do you think is going on here? What's not working? What is the person trying? What happens here? And this is a situation where we might have somebody who has, yes, some problems with mobility, some Parkinsonian features, but they are also showing us some new things. This is something that's a little different, and it wasn't necessarily what folks were anticipating. So this is worse than it's been. I don't know what's going on for sure. So let's take a listen and look, and let's see what you notice. All right, here we go. And this person has been sitting at the table for well over 2 hours. Let's see what happens here.
Teepa, 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 Teepa. Hey.
Hey,
Hey. How's your coffee doing?
that's mine.
Yeah, it is your coffee. Looks like you're out.
I'm fine.
Let's go get some coffee. Come on.
You go on and get coffee.
All right, so Teepa,
Yeah.
some coffee?
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be fine.
Let's go.
Yeah, you should go.
Teepa,
What?
do you want me to get it? Or
Yeah,
you, wanna
you
come?
get it.
Okay, all right, give me
You
your
get
cup.
it. No, you go get
Well,
it and
I
bring
thought
it.
I thought you wanted some coffee.
I do.
Well, let's go.
Just never mind.
Come on.
Don't come on. Just get out. I don't like
I
you.
thought she wanted some coffee. She usually likes coffee.
All right, what happened there? What did you notice? Anticipate, initiate, participate, pause, and appreciate, and then complete. What did you notice?
David said control.
Yeah, who wants to be in control?
Bobby said none of those things that you just mentioned.
Yeah, uh-oh. So what happened is, what do you think was happening for the care partner? Yeah, both people wanted to be in control. what was happening for that care partner? What do you think her emotional state was coming in? Was it a good place to come in? What was something that was probably going on for her? Was she excited and positive, or was she probably anxious and nervous that, you know, this is the third time I've tried to get her up. She doesn't want to get up. I'm going to try a lot of energy. I'm going to try to come in here with a lot of energy and see if I can't get her going.
People have been saying feeling pressured, frustration, in a bad place, demeanor was negative.
Yeah, Teepa, 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 Teepa. So what we heard was we heard her name, but we heard her name sort of like you might say it to somebody who, not a really great relationship. How quickly was she coming? What was the speed? Jet stream. What did you notice? Hey, Teepa, how about you want some coffee? And what was her biggest mistake? What was the biggest mistake?
People are picking up that she rushed in. There was no pausing. She didn't give any time for the person to process. And Deborah said taking her cup.
And grabbing the cup. So Teepa said, yes, she would like some coffee. And then Melanie grabbed the cup. And what you saw was a very quick reaction. But the reaction was, what is the meaning of that reaction? What was Teepa saying?
It's mine.
It's mine and you don't have any right to take something. So what we have are two people who are not in a partnership. We have Melanie who's trying really hard and Teepa who's saying, just get out, just leave me alone. So this interaction that Melanie was trying to foster, how about we'll go get some coffee? Come on, let's go get some coffee. No, just, do you want me to get it? Yeah. So all of this effort, I'm going to give you a word, anxiety. As care partners, we get anxious. When something isn't working like we think it should, when the person is not giving us back what we have anticipated, when we're feeling that pressure to get movement, to get somebody going, to do something in a certain way, what we do is we build the pressure up and things blow up. Now, nobody does this on purpose. What do you think some of the reasons why we get anxious are? What are some of the reasons that you get anxious? Let's just look at what makes you anxious as a care partner. What have you noticed? Because it's a very real issue. And current statistics tell us that somewhere around 75% of us are having episodes at least once a day of feeling anxious, significantly anxious at least once a day. For people living with dementia, for people with Parkinson's, it's likely happening multiple times a day.
So Teepa, we've got several not being in control. We have spouse unsafe, fearful, denial, hostility.
Okay, so it can be due to emotional issues, like we're fearful. It could be because somebody's angry and we're reacting to the emotion. And somebody said safety, like somebody has done some things that are unsafe. Where they are is unsafe. Sitting still is unsafe. Moving is unsafe. What are some other things that make you anxious?
We've got exhaustion. Don't go the way they should. I'm a doer myself. It doesn't take as long.
Yeah, this sense of there's a lot to be done. I've got a lot to get done. Oh my gosh, this has taken so much longer than I thought it would. I'm not being successful. I don't know what else to do. When I feel like I've hit the brick wall, that can sort of give people a sense of anxiety. I'm it. I don't have anybody else. If it's not me, how's this going to happen? When you feel like it's you or nobody, then you get in that. If there are going to be, I'm going to say incontinence. How many of you notice your anxiety will go up around, it's getting about that time? Ooh, either someone is incontinent and you have to help manage the incontinence, or this sitting still business is going to really result in incontinence. And you know that incontinence is one of these issues that causes trouble. This immobility is resulting in people not getting enough nourishment, hydration. They're losing strength in their legs. They're losing the ability to actively use their bodies. So does that make you all anxious? It's one of the measures most care partners will say, yeah, that's what makes me anxious, that I won't be able to keep things going, that I won't be able to keep the status quo, that I won't be able to maintain where we are, that we're losing ground, that it will deteriorate on my watch, that I'm responsible. And so you start to feel anxious that if I don't do this, if I don't get this to happen, this will get worse. And so you have this anticipation. What's the other side of anxiety? I can't do this anymore. Yeah, I just don't know what to do. I've tried everything. I don't like this. I hate this. I don't like this relationship anymore. I'm hating this. This is all I feel like I do is fuss and yell. And so this sense of feeling, it's like the elephant sitting on you. It's like, I hate this. How am I supposed to get them to move? They don't want to move. So this sense of tug of war that we can get into, that I'm trying to get movement and the person is not cooperating. They're not participating. I can't figure out what else to do. And so we get into this trap. So I'm going to show you a second video. And I want you to tell me honestly, now this is the hard part. I'm going to show you the second video. Does it look any better? Is it looking any better? See if you can notice anything that's better. Okay, you ready? Because do this with your hands around your eyes. I want you to really adjust your binoculars for looking for things that are better. Because you're going to say it still didn't work, and I'm going to agree with you, but I want you to see if there's anything that's better. Because if you can't see anything but black and white, you're missing lots of shades of gray. And in Lewy body and Parkinson's, it's all about shades of gray. It's like riding a roller coaster in a merry-go-round. You go up and down on the roller coaster and suddenly you're on a merry-go-round, and you go around the merry-go-round several times and then all of a sudden you're back on a roller coaster again. And it's like, what the heck just happened? I thought I was on a merry-go-round. I had this managed. Yep, now you're on a roller coaster again. And that is probably one of the things that creates both depression and anxiety, is this sense of roller coaster to merry-go-round, to roller coaster, to merry-go-round, and all I want is off. I don't want to be on this. And yet, it's a ride. I just wish it were amusing. So let's take a look at this second one and see what you think here. Here we go.
Yeah. Teepa, honey?
Yeah.
You want some coffee?
Nope.
All right, well, let me know if you want some.
Yep.
All righty.
Excuse me.
Yeah?
Can you get me some coffee?
Want you? Yeah, I'm glad to.
Well, that's my cup.
All right.
How are the stupidest people?
Oops. All right. What do y'all think? What you think?
So right off, somebody noticed that the care partner seemed more relaxed when she entered in.
Yeah, so there wasn't the pressure. There wasn't quite as much pressure. So initially, she was a little quieter and calmer coming in. So did that part seem a little bit better? Yeah, good job. What else did you notice?
They noticed she didn't barge in. She slowed her pace down.
Yep. So there was more of an invitation, and she came in, and what did she ask? Want a cup of coffee? Yeah, the honey thing. Yeah. Want a cup of coffee? And Teepa's initial response was, nope. Now, do you all think that was a thoughtful response or an automatic social rejection? I don't want to participate.
We're getting automatic.
Yeah. And then as she thought about what she just got asked, what did her brain tell her? Because she checked in with her brain, and what did her brain say? Hey, I'd like some coffee. And she then says, excuse me, can you get me some coffee? Now, what did you notice about the care partner in that moment? Well, yeah, that's what I just asked you. And so she automatically goes, okay, I got her. And so she turns around to get the cup. Once again, not thinking too much. She's just on automatic pilot too. So what could she have done? She could have held her hand out and say, I'll fill your cup, which would have been an initiation to see if there was participation. If she took her hand and she did this and said, I can fill your cup for sure, and put her hand out just to see what the possibility is. What could have happened if she did that? What might have happened? Teepa might have participated. She might have picked the cup, or she might have just said, well, use another one. This one's mine. But either way, there would have been a rhythm that would not have resulted in the, that's mine, the grab and the pull in the sense of, I don't trust you, which then resulted in Teepa saying they hire the stupidest people to work here. And unfortunately in dementia, sometimes the relationships of the lifetime are not the relationships that are recognized. So on top of everything else, in that moment, I don't remember who you are to me, except you're this person that I'm not real happy with right now. And so my brain says they hire the stupidest people. But you may be my son, you may be my daughter, you may be my wife, my husband, a good friend. We could have another relationship, but in this moment, my brain is all focused on this thing that just happened that I didn't like. And with Lewy body particularly, wow, can we have this happen? And it's actually called Capgras Syndrome. It's where somebody sees you, but they see you as an imposter. They see you as the not person. They see you as the other one that comes in and takes the place of the person I like. And it doesn't always happen, but boy, when it does, I want Teepa. And it's like, well, I am Teepa. No, the other one, not you, the one that I like. You're the mean one. Get out of here. I don't want anything to do with you. And it's like, what is going on here? Well, frequently it turns out if you think back over the day or the day before, sometimes there might have been a disagreement that went on. And it was not big, it wasn't major, but unfortunately it sort of got stuck somewhere in the brain. And sure enough, the person actually thinks you are not you. And they prefer the other you. And you're the wrong you. And you might even be a dangerous you. And if I am not who you think I am, then you're probably not going to want to interact with me like you would have before. So all of a sudden we have an unfamiliar person. So what are some options when that happens, do you think? Let's see, what are some choices that you have? If it ever happens, you want a few choices because you got to be thinking, okay, so I'm not getting participation. I'm going to pause and I'm going to, so you don't want me here. How many of you ever have said that back? You know what? You don't want me. You want the other Teepa. Oh, okay. I am so sorry. I did something you don't like me or trust me. I am so sorry. So what are y'all coming up with? What are they coming up with, Rachel?
So they're coming up with leaving their room and telling them you'll let the other one in, backing off, breathing deeply, changing clothes, and wearing a mask.
There you go. You guys are coming up with some good ideas. I've got a feeling a few of you might have experienced these things that we're talking about once or twice. And so you've got some strategies. How many of you think it's going to be helpful for me to try to get the person to understand that I am actually the same Teepa? Good, I'm liking the head movements I'm seeing there. That's a lot of quickly initiated movement. Absolutely not. It's not going to tend to result in the outcome you're looking for. So the hard part is letting go of the relationship in that moment to recognize I've got to move out of that space so I can come back into that space. Now, let's take a look at one more video before we move on in content. And I want to show you this video because I'm curious what you pick up this time. Let's give it one more shot here. Let's see. Here we go.
Teepa,
Hey,
hey,
hey, how are you?
good. It's Melanie.
It's what?
Melanie.
Oh, Melanie.
Yeah.
I'm Teepa.
You are Teepa.
Yeah,
Good.
those are pretty.
You like this?
All right, so I'm going to pause for a second. What did you notice so far? What are some things that you noticed so far in regard to, and okay, here's the tricky part, in regard to mobility? What happened this time that did not happen the first two times?
So Carlos noticed it's about a relationship, and Sheila said the care partner let Teepa reach out first, and they held back. She held back from entering.
Oh, so let's watch it carefully because it turns out this preparation and anticipation, these first two things taught Melanie, ooh, I need to slow way down. I'm thinking my speed of movement is causing problems. Teepa has been very territorial and she doesn't like people messing with her stuff. What have you noticed Teepa's been doing the entire time? What has she been doing the whole time Melanie was in that space? David's got it. Wiping and wiping and wiping and wiping and wiping, going around the edge of the table, going around the edge of the table, going around the edge of the table. This idea of this repetitive movement, but it's the movement of one hand, one set of upper body movement, just over and over. And we see that kind of repeated movement when somebody gets locked in to this inability to do something different. Their brain and their body simply don't have another way out. And it's repeat, it's repeat, it's repeat, it's repeat. It's a gross movement that happens over and over. It could be grinding of teeth. It could be, it could be a resting tremor. It could be a rocking movement. It could be but all of those are this trap where the person is not able to move out of that rhythmic pattern. It's a rhythm, but it's a strong interfering rhythm with living. They're caught and it's hard. I mean, yeah, they might just be totally still, but in some cases, what we notice is they're doing something over and over. And what we have to realize is we've got to figure out how to get them out of that rhythm and into ours because they're already doing something. It's not like they're still and we're trying to get them going. They're already doing something. So we've got to see if we can disengage them from the thing they're doing, even though the thing they're doing may simply be watching TV, looking at the paper. Our mistake is thinking they aren't doing anything, looking at us. That could be the thing that their brain is allowing them to do in that moment. And for us, the hard part, how do I get them to let go of that so I can get them to do something else? Now, this is the place where if you have some questions you want to have us explore, you'll want to type them into the chat and say question, because we're coming up on the time because it's been 45 minutes already. Has it felt really long to you or has it felt like it went pretty quick? Quick? Good. Phew. I hope you're not bored out of your gourd and going, how much longer is she going to go on? I've got things to go do. No, it's okay. Good. All right. So let's go back to our video because you guys are good. And I really want you to notice this because this is the little stuff is what makes a big difference. So here we go. Let's watch her again. Watch this. Now, one of the things I'm going to give you guys is the idea, even as a care partner, to go knock, knock, because How old is knock knock? Okay, guys on the call, it's all the guys. The guys are really good at this. Knock knock. What's the next thing you say? There you go. Who's there? It's the jokes. It's the old jokes. Knock knock. Who's there? The old knock knock jokes. It's a call and respond, a call and respond. It's an invitation to participate. So when I go knock knock, it alerts your limbic system, it alerts your reticular activating system, someone wants in. And so even if you're sitting at a kitchen table and I'm coming up, I will pause at the edge of the kitchen table and go, knock, knock, because it means I want to interrupt you. But it's done in a very friendly, do you give me permission sort of way. And knock, knock is permission to participate. Will you let me in? And I do want it loud enough, knock, knock. And I often say it out loud, knock, knock. My body doesn't move, which tells your body it's safe. You're not coming in. It's not going to be a wipe the face, do the chair. It's nothing. And then it's, so let's watch Melanie and see if that's exactly what she does. Here we go. Here comes the knock knock. And look at how many seconds it takes for Teepa's face to lift. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoa, 5 seconds. It took 5 seconds for Teepa's brain to take knock knock, figure out what it meant, get her head to lift and look to where it came from. 5 seconds. The last time Melanie came in, she was almost over to where Teepa was by the time she did that. Look at Melanie's face. What do you notice there?
There's a smile.
There's a smile. And then she'll use that hand.
Teepa.
Hey,
Hey.
hey.
Oh, and what does Teepa do? What does Melanie get Teepa to do right there? Watch it again. Ooh, check it out.
Teepa.
Hey,
Hey.
hey, how are you?
Oh, what did she do?
She mirrored Melanie.
Yeah, but what did she do with that wiping thing? See, you guys missed the really cool part. What did she do with the wiping the table thing?
She stopped wiping.
Stop wiping. She substituted the wiping. She quit. Her right hand is no longer on the cloth. She switched it over to her left, which was her non-dominant hand, because Melanie called her with, hey, and she went, hey, back. Oh my heavens, what does she have now? Which is participation. What has she got that she didn't have those first couple times? Look at this. I'm going to show you right here to right here. What have we got? Ooh, what is happening?
You got eye contact.
Ooh, we got eye contact. Well, we also have a straightening of the spine. Ho, ho, ho. We have her spine straightened up a little bit because to sit up and look up, now that was automatic. Teepa doesn't think about that. That is great because it means it's not part of the brain having to think. It just happened because she was saying, hey, back. All of this has happened within the first 9 seconds of an interaction. Very different than what we had before.
Good. It's Melanie.
It's what?
Oh, now we have this one. What's this one? She said, it's Melanie. And Teepa went, it's what? Now, how many of you would be tempted to go, it's Melanie? I know you guys. How tempted would you be to get loud?
We got a guilty as charged.
Yeah. So instead, Melanie doesn't say anything. She quits talking and she shows her hand and she offers her hand. How does Melanie know it's okay to keep coming? What does Teepa do that says, yeah, I accept your invitation to participate?
She's reaching out.
She reaches out. Now, have you seen any action with this cloth recently? Is she doing anything with that? Nope. So let's see.
Melanie.
Oh, Melanie.
So what does Melanie wait for to give the name again? Why does she do that? What did she do and why do you think she did it? What do you notice about these hands too? I'm going to give you a lot of, what do you notice? What do you notice here? Oh, Melanie's got her hand under Teepa's. Now I want to show you something. Here's Teepa's brain. Here's her spinal cord. Here's her brachial plexus. Here's the nerves to her arm. Here's her connection. Here's Melanie's median nerve and palmar contact. Here's her brachial plexus. Here's her spinal cord, and here's her brain. Guess what this now does? It hardwires them together. So Melanie waited until she seated herself at slightly under double arm's length to say, it's Melanie. Because if Teepa is watching Melanie move and wondering what she wants and trying to process, does she need to be listening for a name, or is she going to be more interested in what? Who is this? And letting Melanie get in and settle before she shares information again. What do y'all think? Talk first or settle in and see if it works. Which would be more effective and a better invitation for somebody who has movement issues and thinking issues?
Settle in first.
Yeah, let's get the settling in so we can now focus on the conversation. One thing at a time. Now, Rachel and Anissa, how many questions do we have? Because I don't want to run us too tight if we have some questions.
So we had one earlier. Let me scroll back up.
Okay, you scroll back up.
Let me find
But when you were talking about the wiping the table, a lot of people were wondering if that was an OCD loop.
It could be an OCD loop. It could also be a motor loop. It could simply be that she can't disengage from the motor action. She's in a rhythm pattern and she can't come out of the rhythm pattern. It could be an OCD type wiping and wiping, especially at this time in history with this virus. And the sense of the only control I have is to wipe surfaces. When I wipe surfaces, I keep people safe. I am wiping surfaces because I keep people safe. But then it becomes, I just wipe and I wipe and I wipe. And one of the things to recognize is it gives me proprioceptive input. When I wipe with the palm of my surface, the palm of my hand on a surface, I'm giving myself, it's called self-stimulation. I'm stimulating myself, because I have a lot of receivers in the palmar surface of my hand. And when I do this motion over and over, it sort of is self-fulfilling because I feel it. I can feel it. It feels good. It's like this rubbing, clapping. It's like grinding, any of those high intensity actions. It could be nipping, biting, pinching. It can be any of those things, but certainly rubbing is one of them that can happen.
So one of the questions, wow, did that come through weird?
You're a little weird, but we're not going to let it bother us, Anissa.
I don't know why that is. All right, this person's asking their
Just your
husband.
voice, not you. I said that inaccurately.
Okay, hopefully this will come through. This person's husband leans over in his wheelchair and works on projects on the floor and frequently falls on his face with the wheelchair attached to his back. I can't get him to not do that anymore. So what suggestions?
Yeah, so a couple of ideas is to get a wraparound table, like actually take a table, drop it down really low so it's about halfway up the shins and allow him to work lower. He likes working and leaning in because he likes to put this tension, this pressure. He actually feels safer when he's leaning forward. If he's just sitting, he doesn't feel as engaged. He likes this leaning, this stretching thing that he does. But if you can bring the height of the table up some, and I've actually used blocks, I've used pillows, something I can put under that's stable. So I like something firm, and I lift it up and I try to get it up so that when he's leaning, he is really not to a place where he can lean so far forward that he tips forward and he doesn't have his feet under him. So one of the questions I would ask is, does he have his feet flat on the floor, or are they pulling back under the chair? And is it just the forefoot, the toes and the front of the foot that are on the ground and they're actually under the chair a little bit? Because that can be the case.
We had another question related to the last video.
Okay, let me finish that one other thought then, Anissa, which is that if the feet are pulling back under the chair, one of the things to think about doing is take a sheet, or if you have 6-inch Velfoam, and wrap it around the uprights of the legs of the wheelchair so that the feet can't go back underneath, and he'd have something stable to put weight down on, but then still raise the work surface up some, but don't try to get it up to tabletop, because the challenge is he's not likely to want to be that high. He likes that forward downward pressure on his palms and on his hands. He likes that intensity. And there's also maybe something going on vestibularly that encourages him to lean like that. I see it more frequently with people who have a history of having had antipsychotics, haldoperidol, risperidone, or quintapen, which is Seroquel. That's when I tend to see most of the leaning type behaviors the most. And we think there might be something going on with the extrapyramidal. So Anissa, you had another question on the video?
Yeah, so this person wanted to know, am I still coming through weird?
A little, yeah.
Okay.
It's tolerable. I mean, we
all right, because it's really weird on my end.
Yeah, we don't want you doing the whole talk, but it'll be okay for a question or two.
All right, so they wanted to know in the last video, it seemed that the slow pace touching, the support, the rest of hardwire connection helped Teepa recognize melody, maybe through a combination of sensory memories, sight, smell, and touch. Is that accurate? Do they understand that? Is accurate.
That is accurate. When she settled in and she was visually present and she wasn't moving and she was close enough and her voice was present, it's Melanie. Oh, Melanie. Then realize Teepa then says, I'm Teepa, which means the downside is Teepa didn't recall the first introduction of Melanie knew she was Teepa. So she wanted to repeat that I'm Teepa to make sure Melanie knew who she was. So that gives us a hint. In this moment, how long is Teepa holding on to data? And the answer is not very long. So we got to keep it in mind as we keep working on the interaction, because otherwise we could think Teepa remembers something that we said in the interaction and she would have no memory of the last interaction sentence that we just gave her. So we are getting really close on time. I do want to share with you that there is a whole lot in the PowerPoint that we did not talk about, but we did talk about some things that I think are really important for care partners. And I'm fine with that. I know some of you might be disappointed. I don't know. But I do want to show you the end of the video. Can we do that even though we might run over a minute or two?
Yeah, that would be good.
Okay, cool. Let me show you the rest of the video, because I do think I want to show you that part that really makes it all worthwhile. Here we go.
Yeah, I'm Teepa.
You are Teepa.
Yeah,
Good.
those are pretty.
You like those?
Yeah,
Like
those are nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, they go with the thing.
They match.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of go.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
the similar or some. There's some other one that goes.
There's some
there.
other one.
Like the similar, but not similar. Something else.
Something else.
Yeah. So wish I could think of that.
So what we saw here was the inability of Teepa's brain to find the words she's looking for, and her frustration with herself, and her anxiety starts to kick back up. And she goes, and I don't want to be in this relationship anymore. I give
do
up.
too.
Yeah. I don't know
Uh-oh.
what that is. It's something.
Something.
Anyway.
Well, I like yours as well. How's your coffee hold?
Oh, look at how clever Melanie was there. She touched the very edge of the tabletop, and watch how quickly Teepa's got like eagle eyes on that. It's like, are you touching my, but then she does something, and it's just one index finger. That is a key thing. She only has out her index finger. Can you easily pick up a mug with just your index finger? So what was it? No threat. It was look here, but not touch. It was no, she didn't even touch the mug. Watch what she does.
As well. How's your coffee holding up?
Well, it's empty.
That invitation causes Teepa to look in the coffee mug, pick up the coffee mug, look at what's in there, and now continue a conversation. Talk about participation. Whoa.
Oh,
There's
no.
just, and look, somebody put what they put in there.
That's not right.
Well, no, it's supposed to, what's the other thing you take?
Medicine
No, well, no, it's just,
with
look,
the
see
water.
that?
It's
Yeah,
water. With water.
Water, it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
water. I thought it was gonna be,
Coffee.
the coffee, and it
Yeah.
isn't, it's just water.
It's just
See,
water.
see it?
It's not right.
Well, it's okay, but I don't much like.
Uh-oh, here comes the anxiety again. I like coffee, it wasn't coffee, it's just water. Now I'm not sure what to do. What do we do now? I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. I disengage from you. So watch Melanie again, because Teepa has sort of gotten back in a space where she's losing the connection.
It.
Yeah. Teepa,
Uh-huh.
let's go get some coffee.
Oh,
Oh, notice that body posture. She leaned way back. She said, Teepa. Motion first, visual cue. Let's go get some coffee. And Teepa says,
Coffee.
oh, you know how to get it?
I do.
Oh, well, okay, wait a minute. Here, you go.
whoa. And you know you've gotten somewhere when Teepa initiates handing Melanie the mug. Let's see what she does next.
To hold that. Give me a second. I've been here a little bit of time. Okay,
Hey, Teepa.
yeah.
Now notice, Melanie did not go over there and mess with Teepa. What have we found out when Melanie tries to mess with Teepa, even though it's to keep her safe, even though it's designed to be helpful? What has Teepa done every single time Melanie tried to come over there and do too much? What did she do? Leave me alone. But notice Melanie is not moving either. She hasn't moved. So it's a cue for Teepa to not move. Initiation, participation. And now she's going,
Well, that's mine, isn't it? But we wanted coffee.
Coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let's go
okay.
get some.
Well, let's go get some.
Let's go.
Good idea.
Good idea.
how many would rather enter an interaction with good idea than they hire the stupidest people? All right. So our time together, I hope it was helpful in the work that you guys are doing. You're doing amazing work. It's hard work. It's rough. And we did this much of what you're dealing with, but I'm hoping this much was enough to inspire you for another day, for another hour, for another week. I hope you found something here to take with you, carry with you, and try out when you get a chance.
Teepa, it was said that you deserve Best Actress Oscar, which is true. That was fantastic. This has been very, very helpful. Lots of really good tips. And again, that Teepa Snow website that we put up, it's a great place to go. I think it's teepasnow.com. Is that right? Yep.
Yeah.
And having, real practical information is so important. So before we end for the day and thank Teepa, I am going to let everybody know about something that PMD Alliance is launching, and that is a new program called Getting Real Online. And this is for care partners, adult children, other family members that are assisting in care of someone, that you can go online and 24/7 have access to short topic specific videos. So we talk about, in short snippets, what to do if you're dealing with someone who has some urinary incontinence or maybe hallucinating. We have introductory level videos. We also have more advanced. We're adding new material. So it's not all up yet, but it's great. There's also going to come in probably in May some additional content that's part of it being a community, is that there's chat groups or message boards where topically you can go in and ask questions and share input, resources. There'll be additional resources with the videos. And then there's also going to be discussion groups, topic discussion groups, facilitated discussion groups that are kind of part of our online group communities that we already have going on. So they all kind of support the content is in Getting Real. And I believe Kelly put the registration link on there. If you go to that, you sign up for the registration, then you'll be given an email with a questionnaire. And then after the questionnaire is completed, within about 24 business hours, you will then get access to the community called Getting Real Online. We like to call it GRO for short and for fun. So we're excited about this. There'll be a lot of new content coming, very practical stuff, just like what Teepa offers, although you do have a very special way of sharing and educating. Teepa, you're just amazing. I want to thank you so much for joining us. We're just so happy. You can get her presentations. We listed that again at Teepa Snow. You can look for the presentation. The slides will be up. We will also have the recording up on our website. We want to just give everybody an opportunity to give you the wave of gratitude that we do, because we really appreciate you, Teepa. We thank everyone for hanging in there a little late after the hour, but it was worth it. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Check us out on Getting Real Online. Teepa, thank you so much. Have a blessed day.
It was great being with you. Thank you so much for having me. It's wonderful to be among people who care.
Have a great day.
You too. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Look at Sheila exercising. Good job, Sheila.
I love it.